Welcome to class. My name is Jennifer, and you're in an Exos 30-minute yoga practice. We are going to be doing some mobility work today, and so that's kind of another fancy way of talking about stretching. But we're going to add a little bit of a flow to it. I'll probably cue different breath practices throughout the class, and I'm going to sneak some different core work in too. So you'll definitely build some heat in the body. You'll feel like you got a little bit of a workout. You're definitely going to lengthen some of the muscles, no matter where you are, even if you're not that flexible. I'll find some ways to cue you and make sure you get something out of the class today. You might end up even a little bit sore after today. So make sure that you're safe and well to do yoga. If something doesn't feel right, make sure that you definitely take pause, modify it if you need to, or just skip something if it's not right for you. I think that's about it. You might want to pin me as the instructor if you want to see me the whole time, or if you want to see yourself, like looking in a mirror, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can just listen to my voice. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on our mat. We're going to be in child's pose this morning. Alrighty. So for child's pose, we're going to separate the knees nice and wide and sit back on your heels, reach your arms forward and let your forehead relax down on your mat. This is a really supportive posture for just letting everything go. So see if you can relax the arms, relax your shoulders, relax your head and neck. Traditionally, child's pose has the arms stretched really long out in front of you, and so you can do that or have a little bend in the elbows if it feels just a little bit more at ease, comforting. Start to direct your attention on your breath. Observe where there's a little bit of resistance in the body. Maybe you can tell there's still a little tension in the jaw. If you're not feeling completely comfortable, you might notice that you're holding tension in that area just because it's hurting you in some way. Maybe that's your ankles feeling stiff. So use your props, okay? Whatever you need to do to get a little more comfortable. Sometimes I sneak a block under my tailbone and just sit back and relax. On your next deep inhale, come up to a tabletop position. You're going to have your hands right underneath your arm bones and your knees underneath your hip bones. Tuck those toes, and we're going to start with a rocking movement. So shifting your weight back over your heels, stretching your arms long, and then coming back forward. Each time you rock back, think about keeping your back flat. So we're trying not to hunch the back, but we're trying to keep the motion guided with your tailbone flat in your spine and back to neutral. Keep rocking in a flow that feels natural with you, for you. Each time you might come a bit further forward, putting motion in the wrist as well, a little bit more weight down over the wrist. Notice if it feels painful or resistant, maybe on one side. Could be muscles, could be joints. Just pay attention to where you feel it. Is it in the wrist? Is it in the arm bone? Is it in the hips? We're working a lot of joints here. And on your next motion, you're going to come back into center. Untuck your toes and stick your right leg out this time. So you've got your right leg really long, and we're still going to rock. So sit back on your heel, You're going to be stretching the inner thigh, maybe a little bit of the hamstring on the back of the thigh and back into neutral. I'm going to do a few more rocking motions with that right leg extended. Lead with your tailbone, pushing with your arms, keep the back flat. And right leg in, left leg out. Same motion, pushing back and then coming back forward. Exhale back, drop down, long stretch, inhale, rise the body back up. Last time, back into neutral. Good. Tuck your toes one more time. Just sit back on your heels completely now. And we're going to look up with the head, chin to chest. So we're just isolating the neck, looking up, chin to chest. A couple more times, up as far as you can go. Find that last 10% of the motion. And back into neutral. Come back into your tabletop position. We're going to do a little bit more for those wrists. So turn your hands so that they go out. We've got our fingers going to the outside. Thumbs are facing forward. And just swivel to the right, to the left. Putting a little bit more motion into those wrists. We really want to warm them up well today for some of the movements we're going to be doing. If this doesn't feel like it's getting it for you, maybe we turn them even more to where the fingers are facing back towards you. And maybe little circles to the right, little circles to the left. They could be microscopic little circles, bigger circles. Don't rush through those areas that feel restricted, like, oh, that doesn't feel good, let me just rush through it. That's your opportunity to explore that area. Don't force it, but notice, pay attention, work with it, and then come back around. All right, perfect. And unwind those wrists. We're back in the tabletop. We're going to do a few cat and camels or cat and cows. Go ahead and lower your spine, raise your head up, tailbone up, and then drop your chin to chest, tailbone under. Raise your spine up towards the ceiling. A few more times. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, tailbone under, chin to the chest, looking through your knees, through your thighs, back to the back of the room. All right. Continue flowing. Up and down. Warming up the rest of our spine. And back into neutral spine. This time, inhale long from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Exhale, C-curve to the right. So you're looking over your right shoulder. You're doing a little bit of a lateral bend to your spine, looking over your shoulder to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look over the left side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. And back to center. One more time to the left. And back to center. Now work with this. Let's see if we can do a few circles. No one's watching, I'm pretty sure. So go ahead and just move in whatever direction feels really good. Now we're tying all those movements together. The front and back of the spine, the side to side of the spine. Any gentle motions through the wrists, the shoulders, the hips. Make sure we hit both directions. And then back into center. Go ahead and sit back in a child's pose just a second to give those wrists a break. You can even flip your palms up. Relax your forehead down. And come up just a bit. We're going to take the right arm and you're going to slide it between your knees just a bit. So at least the elbow part is between your knees. And you're going to take the left hand on the back of your head. So bring the left arm down to the floor at first, and then we're going to rotate that left arm up towards the ceiling. You can even take your gaze up as well. And back to neutral. Having that right arm between your knees really helps to lock the lower body in position. So we're getting all the rotation through the middle back. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, back down. Few more natural flows with hand on the back of the head. And then if you're feeling open enough and you want to try extending the arm to see what that feels like, at the top of your rotation, see if you can reach the arm up towards the ceiling. The palm is going towards the outside of the room. The thumb is facing forward and back down. Flow at your own pace here. I'm going to give you a little bit more time and then we're going to switch sides. One last reach. And back down. So switch elbow. Left elbow or forearm. It's going to tuck it in between those knees a little bit. Place your right hand on the back of your head. Inhale, rotate up. Exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale. And if you'd like to, you can add the full extension of your arm. It's nice to find the motion in the area that we're intending to first before you add these outer joints into the exercise, because what we're really trying to move doesn't have a lot to do with what's going on in our shoulder, but with our mid-back. And it is a very common place for people to become stiff because we sit so much as a society. We tend to sit. Flow maybe a few more times at your own pace. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to a kneeling position and then shift back into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Bring your palms about one palm length out from where it was. We're going to come into our first downward dog. So you've got your toes tucked under. You're really pushing away the tailbones towards the back of the room. Inhale, come into a high plank position. Activating your core. Keep your head in a neutral spine. And back to down dog. Inhale, long spine. Strong and stable plank. Exhale, back to down dog. And one more plank. Good, feeling strong this morning. And push back into downward dog. This time, take your right leg, pull the knee into the chest. Feel those core muscles, pull it nice and tight into the chest, and then step back to downward dog. Left knee to chest, pull it nice and tight, lift up as high as you can, step back to downward dog. We're gonna walk it each side, knee to chest, back to down dog, down, knee to chest, back to downward dog. Just kind of alternating sides. Knee to chest in that high plank position, and then back to downward dog. Alternating sides, keeping the knee close to the body. One more time on each side. Back to downward dog. This time, knee to left elbow, back to downward dog. Left knee to right elbow, back to downward dog. Okay, we're gonna switch it up. Right knee to left elbow, kick the leg out, kick the right leg out, and place it to the left side of your body. Flex those toes, push away just a little bit. See if you can push away from the ground. You're gonna get a deeper stretching sensation in that right leg. And pull it back in, step back to downward dog. Left knee, right elbow, kick the leg out. Flex your toes, push back just a little bit. Get a stretching sensation there, and that left leg extended. Release, bring it back in, step to downward dog. All right, one more. Right knee, left elbow, step out to the left side of your body, and then we're gonna sit down. So twist to your left and sit down. All right, good thing, right? We're in a seated, wide-legged position. Maybe lift yourself up for a second so you're really on your tailbone. Right leg extended, left leg extended. Inhale, get really tall in your spine. Reach over to the right side and hold for a count of 1, count of 2, come on back up. So we're not going to stay in these long. We're just going to switch sides. Enough for 1 full cycle of breath and back up. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, long and slow exhale into the sides. Inhale, tall. Exhale, reach. Each time you're just really fully letting all that air just fall out, you're going to notice that you go deeper into the stretching position as you go to right side and left side. Just go ahead and flow with that at your own pace. One last time to the left side. Back into center. All right, we're coming back to that downward dog. So you're going to twist your body back to the right, pull the right knee into the body, and just come back into where we were, back into a downward dog. Left knee to right elbow, kick your leg out and sit down. We're doing the opposite side. Now we're back into a wide-legged position. This time we're going to work on just coming forward so you guys can see me better. I'm going to swivel around. This time we're going to come forward. I love using blocks for this particular movement. So we're just going to use our block and slide ourselves forward a little bit and back up. Now you can always just walk your hands forward and back up. Exhale down and back up. We're going to do several of these because we're trying to slowly come deeper into the position. So we're hinging at the hips. Inhale, come back up. Maybe 2 more, and then we're going to hang out in this position for a minute. So where you're at is going to be based on what you can do to make it comfortable, okay? If you need to be upright and just supporting yourself on your legs, that's fine. Maybe you use your block to just rest on your elbows. You know, if you brought your pillow or something with you, you could go even deeper. You can't see this really great on the screen, but it's a bolster, a yoga bolster. And you could just kind of hug on that if it's a couch cushion or something like that. And we're going to come out of it, okay? So go ahead and bring the left knee into the body, swivel over, twist to your left side, and just push back into downward dog. Good job. All right, so now we are going to step the right foot forward, coming into a low lunge, drop your back knee down, inhale, rise up, low lunge. Take your left hand on your right thigh, reach your right arm up straight in front of you. Tip the left hip forward, maybe a tiny bit more, squeezing in the glutes, really feeling that stretching sensation on the front of the left thigh. Now we're going to take this right arm and we're going to do a little bit more to evolve the posture. Take it down in front of you, straight out in front of you, then come back up overhead. All right, now we're going back behind us, straight behind you. Straight behind you. You can take your gaze back if you like, looking straight to the back of the room. All right, so all the way back up to the top and the front. Now we're going to circle around. So down towards the floor, reaching back behind you, all the way up overhead and down in front. Go ahead and circle through at your own pace, maybe even taking your gaze with your hand all the way around the world, back behind you, up overhead, down in front. So let's go back the opposite direction. Reaching the arm high to the ceiling, looking back towards the back of the room, all the way down towards the mat, out in front of you. Maybe one more circle through, and back to start. Place your hands on the mat, shift back for a half splits. So you're stretching the hamstring on the right leg, forward into low lunge. Tuck your toes and step back to downward dog. Step the left foot forward inside the left hand and drop your knee down. Inhale, rise up for low lunge. Take your right hand on the top or the outside of that left thigh. Reach out in front of you. Actually, reach overhead first. All right, gonna kind of fine tune our posture here. You're probably gonna be squeezing in some of those muscles just to maintain balance. Let's try reaching forward. Coming back up. And then back behind you. Oh, take that gaze back there. Good job. And down to the floor. Out in front. Up overhead. Back behind you. Back down. And around. Maybe one more time, more fluid. 2 more times if it felt great. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. Circling back down first and then up and around. Trying to keep these hips square through the entire movement. And back around. Very good. Place your hands on the mat. Maybe lift up over that knee just a tiny bit. We're going to shift back for the half splits. Stretching the left leg out in front of you. Drop your head down. Back forward into low lunge. Tuck the toes and step back into downward dog. One last time. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna drop down to our knees, cross the ankles, sit back onto your bottom so you're in a cross-legged position. And you're going to stretch your legs out in front of you. All right. So we're gonna take the right leg and we're gonna grab the ankle and the knee. And we're just going to what we call rock the baby. All right, we're going to start out rocking the baby for our hips. If you'd like to go to another level with this, place your right ankle on that left thigh. And you can hinge forward just a bit. This is a hip stretch on the right side. If you're really tight in the piriformis, this is a good one for you. If you're really open in the hips and you want something more, you can do it with the left knee bent. I will caution you, if you are, and I don't know if you can see this well on the screen, if you're doing it but your spine is kind of slumping, this is really not as good as doing this. If you need a little extra help, you could do it against a wall. Get that really long posture, keep an erect spine. Sure, being really cautious with the knees. Remember, we can always go back to here, just working that hip. All right, let's switch sides. Left foot, grab the foot and knee. Just kind of feel it out first. Remember, yoga is not just about doing, it's about observing. So we are kind of checking out what we're feeling in our body. What does it need today? Rocking the little baby. And go ahead and place it down on your lap. Okay, so we've got that the left ankle on your right thigh. You can get really tall here and hinge forward just a bit. Whatever it takes, just sort of deepen the stretch a tiny bit. I don't have my strap in front of me today, my yoga strap, but you can maybe have a strap around that foot in front of you, pull yourself in, keeping a bit of a flat back, focusing on the hip that we're working on strengthening. It's really more about the hip and thigh on that left side. All right, and release. So you've got both legs straight out in front of you. Bring your hands back behind you. The fingers are facing forward. And we're gonna really set our posture here. So we're lifting the chest, the shoulders are back. Good, and you've got your arms really erect. We're gonna get strong in the legs, so squeeze those legs, drive through your heels, squeeze glutes, lift up off the floor into upward plank and hold. Kind of relax that neck, maybe let your head fall back just a tiny bit. Really squeezing the glutes, lifting the legs. The arms are really just a supporting point. It is not really what we're pushing with. We're pushing with the lower body and our core. and then relax, come back down. I'm gonna rotate over to the left side. Now we're gonna do a side plank here. So there's a lot of ways to modify side plank. If you love side plank and you wanna come from the extended arm, that's completely fine. I'm gonna instruct it from the elbow today. Have your feet kind of one in front of the other like you're on a tightrope, and lift your body up. One straight line, one straight line. You can reach your arm up towards the ceiling or at the side body. See if you can lift your hips up enough. We've got one straight line. Of course, coming down to the knees is an option as well. All right, lower yourself down, nice and gentle. I'm gonna switch over to the opposite side. Swing around so you guys can see me. I'm gonna do it from the knees this time. You've got your elbow right underneath your shoulder. If you're going to do it from the knees, keep those knees stacked, tighten the core, lift up your hips. You should have a long line from the crown of the head down through the cervical spine, the mid-back, lower back, hips, into whatever contact point is on the ground, whether it's your foot or your knee, lower thigh, knee. Release, back down. Very good. All right, we're gonna come onto our backs. Maybe bring your knees to your chest, give it a good squeeze. You've done such a great job so far. And then we're gonna bring the right leg to the body, extend the left one out. Pull that right leg across your body. Good, so it's all the way to the floor if you can. If not, once again, great place to use a block or a foam roller or a pillow. And you can just support the knee there. You're gonna take your left hand, just gently holding it down, and we're gonna do a movement that I call the open book. So you're gonna reach your right hand across the left side of the body and then open the book, open those pages over to the right side. You feel like twisting and rotating in your spine. Reach back over to the left and let it flow and open gently to the right. All right, to the left and to the right at your own pace a few more times. Find that flow that matches your natural body rhythms. And on that last one, you're just gonna stay with it. Let the hand drop open, the shoulder drop open. Feel the spine relaxing. And release. Guide your leg back into center. And we're going to switch. So left knee is coming to chest and the right one is extended this time. Guide that left knee and thigh across the right side of the body. Pulling it all the way over as far as it goes, of course. Find a place to support your knee and thigh. Take the right hand to hold it down, keeping that gentle stretch, and we're going to open our book. So start off reaching to the right and then opening to the left. And the same as that opposite side, we're just going to find a flow that matches your natural body rhythms. So typically we're inhaling as we open and reach, exhaling as we fold in and close, push the air out. Inhale, reach to the future. Exhale, closing back in, pushing out all the old air. Inhale, one more breath, open. Exhale, close. Let's stay with this last one. Nice. Just let everything fall. And release. Left knee into center. Give both knees a good hug one more time. All right, we're coming to the end of class here. I'm always trying to squeeze these motions in. Let's try one last movement before Shavasana. I love a happy baby. We've done so much to open our hips today. So bring the knees to the body. Grab the outside of your feet. See if you can place the knees outside of your arm bones, outside of your shoulders. And so we're grabbing the feet. The knees are spread wide. And we're going to open the feet out into what we call a happy baby. Give yourself a gentle rock, right to left. And release. All right, legs long on the mat. Let your feet fall open. Anything you need to do to be comfortable in our time of stillness here, our time of meditation, our time of quiet rest, just a jacket, a pillow, anything that makes you comfortable. Let your arms fall to the sides, palms open, maybe tuck your shoulder blades under. And we're just going to take a few moments here to close our practice. Just let everything go. Feel the muscles of the jaw release, the muscles around the eyes release. Notice your ankles. Are you holding tension of those ankles, or are they just completely flopped open? What about those fingers? It's still clenching a bit, or they just completely at ease? And if you're ready to close your class for today, go ahead and bring your knees in and roll to whichever side feels best to you. Take one more deep breath and push up to seated. I always like to close class with hands to heart, just an offering of gratitude. Thank you for practicing with me, joining me for this Exos 30-minute yoga practice. Wonderful time to carve out for yourself in the middle of the day. Hope you join me again next week. Namaste.